Welcome, new recruit.
Hello.
Hey, you're here to join the army for the Moonrise, right? Moonrise?
I can make my money rise. I can make my dick rise. So I figured that this would be a good fit for me.
Good. Bob Skylum is in full need of your help. Dick, regardless.
Wait, hold on. Rewind. This the moon? This the moon forces?
This is the Moon Forces. We're finna fight the Earth. Sapientia doing some wild shit.
I always kind of heard the Sapientia was bad. I thought I was walking into that office.
No. This is for Bob Skylum's army.
This is for Bob.
Moonrise.
This is Bob Skylum, not Bob the Builder. Bob Skylum.
Robert Skylum.
Robert Skylum. Robert J. Skylum.
Robert J. Skylum.
Oh shit!
You got seats?
Can I go make a phone call real quick?
You got seats?
Can I please go make a phone call real quick?
Sure.
Hey mom,
Yes.
I made a mistake.
What mistake did you make there, sweetie?
I thought I was going to the Sapientia military recruitment, and I'm actually at Bob Skylum's army recruitment.
You're just kind of stupid then, honey. You're on the moon. Why would you think you're gonna join Sapientia on the moon?
I didn't think this through, but look, listen, you probably gonna see me do some things that I wouldn't normally do, but like I'm too deep now. I can't just leave. So I'm just letting you know it was a mistake.
We'll pray for you, baby.
Okay,
We'll pray for you, baby.
cool.
You gonna join or not?
Yeah, I'm here to join.
All right. Welcome to another episode of It's Probably in Your Watch List, where today
We're gonna be talking about Moonrise.
Moonrise.
This anime scratched an itch that I had forgotten that I had up until watching this anime.
The sci-fi anime's return.
It's been so I think it was Gundam Seed was my first interaction with this genre form of anime. And then
But there's no big Gundams in this, though. Don't get it twisted.
And then obviously you had I think it was called Code Blue.
And then there was another soccer one, and then you can't forget Code Geass, which again a Gundam.
Yeah.
But it taps into that.
This is
frame,
not a
right?
mecha anime.
This is not a mecha anime. This is a tried and true,
Full-on
bona fide
sci-fi.
sci-fi anime.
Think Cowboy,
Think Lazarus Project.
Lazarus Project, which that's hopefully going to be ending here soon. Pop one on that. That's been really fucking good. I've also heard really bad things about that too, though. So I'm interested as to why, because everything I've seen of it so far,
It's so fucking
it's been
good.
so fucking fire. Let me get back on track.
Nice.
It starts with a really cool humming sequence that really pulls you in, where the song Moon River, haha, banger of a song by the way, but it's pervasive throughout the whole 18 episode season.
They speckle that shit in for good reason.
For good reason, and it's something about that, something about the humming of it, the softness of it, really went parallel with the intense action sequences, and it made for a really nice juxtaposition of this to that, and you wouldn't be thinking you're seeing a bunch of really fast movement to that humming, you know, and it really fit.
They really did.
Let's get major issues out of the way first. Major issue out of the way. Tad convoluted.
All over the place.
All over the place.
I struggled to keep up. It's one of those anime or one of those shows or works of art where if you stop paying attention, you miss something important.
You gotta run it back.
You gotta run it back.
You gotta run it
There's
back.
no like, oh, I could kind of blaze through this and it was kind of like a filler episode. Nah, bruh, pay attention.
Yeah.
Long.
Very. It seems a little too long. I think they focus a little too much on the interpersonals of the group, you know? And if they were going to focus on the interpersonals, I would love to have seen the opposition's interpersonal, because that was a way more intriguing cast of characters with the weird wise guy, or wise Phil, that Salamandria, Harbinger. I much prefer them
Pop off.
over like Georg and Ozma.
They had boring stories. So like one was a rich boy, and then the rest were criminals. One had like the 5th degree death penalty for some shit.
Yeah, 5 death sentences. Yeah.
5 death sentences.
Or 5 lives.
One was a hacker. The other one was the helper to the hacker. Then you had Jake, which everybody thought was Jack?
Yeah.
I thought it was Jake from State Farm.
I did too. Jack and Jake are pretty
They're
close.
synonymous at this point.
They are.
Jay, our boy Jay, was blamed for the station, the orbital station, or the orbital elevator.
The elevator, yeah.
Yeah, crashing, which killed a lot of people. Fun fact, nobody involved in that did that.
Yeah.
Which was fucking hilarious to me. And basically his little sweetheart, that's not his little sweetheart, but is his little sweetheart,
Reese,
saves him because she's this, upper tier military
Major.
chick and she's making special forces to go kill Bob Skylum. Fast forward, this is a great part to go on ahead and let you know that I do music. It's probably in your watch list every Thursday. We also do skits on occasion and other random works where we try to flex our muscle or just to have a good time overall. If you're new to this shit, welcome. If you've been rocking and rolling with us, we appreciate you because couldn't do that shit without y'all.
I will say, they fucking killed the intrigue part of this show.
They really did. The story was awesome.
The story was great. It was not. It was not left yesterday.
It didn't. I was not prepared for that little drop, bro.
Yeah.
That little nugget was good. That was good, bro.
Yeah. It hits on a lot of different levels. I'll let you figure it out where you were.
Go ahead.
The anime hits it on a lot of different levels. It hits that sci-fi itch that you were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It hits that interpersonal romantic niche.
It does.
That it's also interesting to say that these aren't children.
Yeah.
They're adults.
It grown.
They're grown ass people. The whole show's about grown ass people. Okay. The whole show's about grown ass people. Where, as any other show like this, middle schoolers, high schoolers, that have the powers, it has the appeal of a shonen while being an original adult story.
Adult as fuck. There was definitely like, oh shit level moments perforated throughout this whole motherfucker.
Yeah.
Which is why I have a little bit of grace for the length.
Yeah.
Because they were thorough.
Yeah, they were very thorough.
But as someone who likes to on occasion lounge when intaking my fantasy,
Of course.
it got annoying. There was definitely a good 3 or 4, hey, we gotta run it back. Just to kind of figure out what was going on.
If you do plan to watch this, plan to watch it in spurts. I would say no more than
3 or 4.
After that, you
Take
can
a break.
Yeah, because it can get a little, not overwhelming, but mentally you can start being like, well, what the fuck?
Mentally draining.
Like, I don't get it.
It's a lot. So we're blaming Bob Skylum for the orbital elevator's fall.
Yes.
But it wasn't even Bob Skylum.
He didn't even do it.
It was Sloppy Toppy and shit.
Sloppy, toppy, and shit. Really? Honestly, they kind of are. They're the military. They're the people who do things.
Yeah.
This was a great allegory for corporate takeover of society.
True, but one of the things that I did have a question about though was the AI in the center of the collective people sapientia, or were they sapientia? You see what I'm saying? So was the AI actually...
It wasn't a they. It was definitely an it.
So sapientia was AI.
I believe so, yes.
And then were they just the orators or the communicators of what sapientia...
Almost religion-esque.
Okay.
But I believe at the end of this thing, that AI was running the earth.
Everything.
Yeah. And that, this is something you'll find out when you watch it, if you do, which it should be in your watch list.
Yeah, if it's not in your watch list, put it in your watch list.
Definitely needs to be in there.
And if it is in your watch list, tap that bad boy up a little bit. It's a good one.
The AI that was there in the middle, the Sapientia AI, I believe, and it's like you'll find out when you watch it on your own, that Jack, one of the other main characters, Phil, Mary, were all part of a AI human
so what happens
mishmash program.
when an AI and a human love each other? They make little AI babies that control shit.
Yeah.
And are really, really cool. Also, Phil, gangster.
Oh, the best move, their favorite move in this show, was put the hand out and block the bullet.
Well, also, the other favorite move was jump with feet on shoulders and unload the clip.
And unload the clip. Dude,
Unload the
There
clip.
was never just one bullet being fired.
At all times,
Never.
they
It
were
was-
double tapping.
It was all. It was all. It was JoJo's Bizarre Adventure when it
It
came to
was
the gun.
shoot to kill, bro. Like, there was no question about it.
It was all.
Period.
I think everything else you really would want to know about it, you would want to see for yourself. The fight scenes
True.
are immaculate.
I love how they explained the gear as well.
Yeah,
Because I remember
the
that
Ingram
being,
gear.
I remember it being a question. At this point, it's not a no spoilers because we're spoiling shit, right?
Yeah.
But you see the middle of the anime at the beginning of the show, and then they kind of do this blub, 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 blub thing to the middle
I
of
would,
the show.
sorry, I would say it's the middle, but I'd say it's like halfway between the beginning and the middle, like a good fourth
That's
of the way.
fair. That's fair. And then we literally pick up where the beginning was, and then
Yeah.
it just keeps going.
Great.
It was awesome.
What an awesome way to start that
It was
shit.
blended as a motherfucker. There was no questions asked here.
The humming. The humming.
But I really enjoyed how they explained that gear and what that gear was, because I remember going, "What the fuck? How
Yeah.
are they doing that?"
Yeah.
Because we thought that it might be a mecha anime or like Robo Cyborg top meat more
It
It
was all. That being said, we talked about it should be in your watch list. Let's pop in the ratings for this bad boy.
Ooh. So I'm gonna give it the. I'm struggling because it's hard for me to hit fire rate this because I want to rate it high. I ain't gonna hold you.
I want to rate it high too.
I want to rate it high. My only beefs were the length, and it wasn't even the length. It was more so the story itself and how the story was told toward the halfway to end point.
The latter half.
Yeah, like the last six-ish
episodes. Yeah.
Um,
They just cover way too much in that span of time.
information. It was a lot of information. I would watch this again. I would definitely recommend this. I'm gonna give it the 8.7.
Whoa.
I'm gonna give it the 8.7.
Okay.
Why'd you say whoa?
That's pretty fucking high.
You didn't think it was gonna be that high?
I mean, don't.
Is this like a hide your kids, hide your wife?
No.
Why is it 8.7? Why do you feel like 8.7?
It's pretty close to a 9.
I was gonna raise it.
Oh shit.
But I had to dial it back because of it held on to me. I wasn't in like death grip the whole time.
I just think 8.7 is a pretty high number.
Yeah, this is super good.
Yeah.
Also, in its niche of anime, right? Like, what's touching Moonrise as a sci-fi anime?
Gargantia.
Gargantia, the ship one.
Yeah, actually.
The ship anime is touching Moonrise. That's a hot take.
I loved Gargantia.
Gargantia is fire. Gargantia's. I don't think Gargantia is as good as Moonrise.
I think it is. I think it's probably better, to be real.
Oh my god.
I say that for the sole reason is that Gargantia, if we're just comparing these two now, Gargantia has a solid 12 episode story.
Yeah.
That fits and hits emotionally where I needed it to hit. And
They didn't come through and reload.
Yeah.
They did what they needed to do in the
there was
first
nonstop hit fire.
Yeah. No, you're right.
They built the quick relationships in the
Yep.
2 episodes of like blah 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 festival
I
blah
see
blah,
what you're saying.
and then it was nothing but story.
Meanwhile, with Moonrise, we unloaded one clip to holster, grab rifle,
It was all
unload that. then we threw a grenade.
Not to say Moonrise is bad, because it is a fantastic story. And we need more sci-fi stories like this.
Please, we were talking about this
long time ago.
I want to say it was the beginning of last year.
Long time ago.
About the beginning of last year.
30, 40 episodes ago. I'm going to give this a 7.9. And it's for all those reasons that we mentioned earlier that I just can't find myself giving it that 8 to put it in that category above. Although it was awesome and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every last second of it. I think I've just seen better anime.
Okay.
With that being said, though, I'm gonna say
Peace to your family.
Peace to your couch.
Love to your family.
And then love to your couch and peace to your family.
And then y'all need to make a really nice dinner line for those that are of age. And
y'all be good out here.
Just discuss how the sun can fall, you know?
And the moon can rise.
Okay. The question for the masses, which one you picking? Which of the lovely ladies in Moonrise are you picking?
I mean, gotta be Reese.
You picking Reese?
Gotta be Reese, man.
That's the one you picked.
Yeah. Reese was loyal.
To the end. Very Rukia.
Very Rukia
Yeah.
Kuchiki meets
Very
Hinata
Mikasa.
meets Mikasa.
Little wisdom from the people who taught life in Disney. Care for the mob.